Okay, good morning, BS Ed 2D.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning po.
Good morning. I am Teacher Cell, and I am the one who will facilitate your class for today. It's April 6, 2022, and my time is 10:40 in the morning. As of now, I have two students. Now, I want to remind everyone to please maximize your participation in today's discussion. You can raise your hand if you want to answer, or you can comment on Teams chat box. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes
Before I
po.
start, okay. Before I start, I want to ask, am I loud and clear on your end?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you for responding. So to begin, I have here four words. So, Miss Bautista, please read the words in the PowerPoint presentation.
Packs, pack, package, and packing.
Okay. Class, what is the root or base word of the words presented in the PowerPoint presentation? Anyone? Yes, Miss Bautista.
I think, ma'am, it is the pack.
Very good. So, pack is the root word since it is the basis of a new word. How about what do you call these terms such as s, ed, age, and ing that is added to the end of the root word? Anyone? Yes, Miss Basa.
It is called suffix, ma'am.
Very good. These terms are called suffix. And suffixes is added at the end of the word to form a new word. So, root word plus suffix, it will form a new word with a different meaning. Just like the word pack, pack, package, and packing. So, from the word pack, the word expanded or have a different meaning by just adding suffixes in the end of the word. So, anyone? Can you give me another example of pack using suffixes? Who wants to volunteer? Yes, Miss Basa.
Packable, ma'am.
Very good. Packable. Another answer? Yes, Miss Bautista.
Packer po, ma'am.
Very good. Packer. A very good example. So, here is another example of suffix. I want you to analyze the pictures and tell me the root word, the suffix, and the new word illustrated in the picture. Go. Miss Basa, please answer my question.
Ma'am, the root word po is art, and the suffix is ist, and the new word is artist.
Very good. So always remember, root word is the basis of a new word, and suffix are the terms added to the end of the root word, while new word are the words created by the root word and suffix. Just like here in the illustration, from the root word art, such as painting, it becomes an artist, which is a person who paints. So the word has a different meaning now by just adding the suffix ist. So here are the commonly used suffixes and its meaning. The suffix able means possible to be. So the suffix able is most commonly attaches to words or most often verbs that could otherwise complete without the suffix. In many cases, this occurs with no change to their spelling. For example, the word accept becomes acceptable. So there is no change in the spelling of the root word when the suffix able was added because accept is a verb. Second is the suffix full, which means full of. Adding suffix full changes a noun to an adjective. For example, joy becomes joyful. So here, the word joy is a noun, but when the suffix full was added, it becomes an adjective, which is joyful. Third is the suffix ist, which are always noun. And this suffix means someone who or a person who does an action. For example, artist. So again, from the word art, which means painting, it becomes an artist, which demonstrates a person or a noun. Lastly, the suffix less tells us that the word is an adjective, and this suffix means without. For example, taste becomes tasteless, which means having no taste or without taste. Now, it's your turn. Fill in the blank, the correct missing words in the sentences. Any volunteer? Yes, Miss Bautista. Please read the sentences before answering.
Okay po. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Number 1. My laptop is broken. It is useless.
Useless is correct. Very good. Next, Miss Basa.
Number 2. Every mother thinks her child. My answer, ma'am, is beautiful.
Beautiful is correct. Very good. Number 3, Miss Bautista again. Miss Bautista. Miss Bautista, please open your mic. Okay? Miss Basa,
Sorry
please
po,
answer.
ma'am. I'm here po.
Okay. Okay. Go, Miss
His
Bautista. Number
decision to resign from the position was regretful.
Okay. Regretful is wrong. The correct answer is regrettable. Last number, Miss Basa.
Number 4. The blank approached them with an air of humility. My answer, ma'am, is harpies.
Harpies is correct. Very good, class. So, do you understand the commonly suffixes and their use?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So now, let's move on to our next topic, which is suffix spelling rules. Miss Basa, please read the sentences.
Sandy shifted the gears. The accident occurred at approximately 3 in the morning.
What do you call the highlighted words, Miss Basa?
It is called suffixes, ma'am.
Good. Now, what is the root word and the suffixes used in both sentences? Anyone? Miss Bautista?
Ma'am, the root word for shifted is shift, and the root word for occurred is occur. The suffixes used is ed.
Very good. Okay, class. What do you notice in the format of the words with suffixes? Who wants to volunteer? Yes, Miss Basa.
Ma'am, I noticed that the consonant in the second sentence is double, while the consonant in the first sentence is single.
Very good. Great observation, Miss Basa. Remember, class, if the suffix starts with a vowel and the root word ends with a stressed final syllable ending consonant, vowel, consonant, the last letter of the root word is doubled before adding the suffix. Just like in the second sentence, the suffix ed starts with a vowel e, and the word occurred follows the CVC format, which is C is consonant, U is vowel, and R is consonant. So according to the rule, if the word follows the CVC format, the last letter of the root word will be doubled, just like the letter R in the word occurred. But if the word is not following the CVC pattern, the last letter of the word will not, or the last letter of the word will remain single. Just like in the number 1, the letter I is vowel, the letter F is consonant, and the letter T is consonant. So the last letter of the root word, which is letter T, will not be doubled. So here are the other examples of doubling the final consonant before adding suffix. So tip become tip and tipping. Regret become regretted and regretting. So so these words follows the CBC pattern. That is why the last letter of the root word was doubled, such as the letter P and letter T. So always remember, class, that in rule number 1, the root word should follow the CBC pattern so that the last letter of the root word will not be doubled. I will be doubled. And if the word does not follow the CBC pattern, the last letter of the root word will remain single. Is that clear?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, now let's move on to the second rule. Miss Bautista, please read the sentences.
It's debatable whether this book is as good as her last. The conditioner makes your hair more manageable.
What is the root word of the underlined words? Miss Bautista.
I think, ma'am, the root words are debate and manage.
Very good. So, as you've noticed, in the second sentence, the letter E remained, while in the first sentence, the letter E was removed. As what Miss Bautista said a while ago, the root word of debate is the root word of debatable is debate. Uh, so the last letter of the root word ends with an E, so the E in debate was dropped. And this applies the dropping the silent E rule, wherein if the suffix starts with a vowel and the root word ends with an E, the final E will be dropped from the root word before adding the suffix. So take a look in the sentence number 1. The suffix able is a vowel, and the root word debate ends with an E. So the letter E will be dropped and it will be written as debatable with silent E. However, there is an exemption in this rule, like root words ending with GE or CE, just like in the second example or in the second sentence. The root word manage ends with GE. That is why the E in manage remains. So here are the other examples of dropping the silent E. The first is care plus ed is equals to cared. So the E in care was dropped. Next is desire plus ed is equals to desired. Again, the letter E was dropped. Next is change plus able is equals to changeable. So as you notice, the letter E in change was the letter E in change remained because the root word ends with GE. Next is trace plus able is equals to traceable. So the letter E in trace also remains because the root word ends with CE. So in rule number 2, the trick is you need to remember that if a root word ends with GE or CE, the letter E will remain. But if the word does not end with GE or CE, the letter E will be dropped. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes po.
Okay. Now, let's move on to the third rule. Miss Basa, please read the sentences and identify the words with suffixes.
There was a plentiful amount of food at the family reunion. She's applying for the job. The word with suffixes po, ma'am, is plentiful and applying.
Okay, what is the root word in the first sentence?
The root word in the first sentence po is plenty.
Correct. So, plenty is the root word. Now, as you've noticed, in the first sentence, the letter Y was changed to letter I, while in the second sentence, the letter Y remains. This applies the changing Y to I rule, wherein if the root word ends with consonant plus Y, the Y changes to an I before any suffix is added. So, take a look in sentence number 1. The word plenty ends with consonant T and Y. So the Y in plenty will become I. That is why it becomes plentiful. But in this rule, the only exception is by adding the suffix ing. Just like in the sentence number 2, we add the suffix ing. That is why the letter Y remains. So here are the other examples of changing Y to I rule. Number 1 is beauty plus full equals beautiful. Number 2, happy plus ness is equals to happiness. So the Y becomes I because the last letter of the root word ends with a consonant. Next is annoy plus ing is equals to annoying. Journey plus ing is equals to journeying. So the letter Y remains because we just add the suffix ing. So in rule number 3, the trick is if the suffix ing will be added to the root word, the letter Y remains. But if a different suffix like able, full, and ness will be added to the end to the letter Y, the Y will become I. Is that clear?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here, so wait. So here is the last rule of suffix spelling, and it is the simplest. The rule is vowel comes before Y, keep the Y, and add the suffix. So if the root word ends with vowel plus Y, the final Y does not change. Just like here in our example, the word Y in employable is kept because the root word ends with a vowel. So other example is the words annoying and journeying. So now, to test your understanding in our lesson, I prepared a true or false activity for you. So let's start. Who wants to volunteer? Who wants to volunteer in number 1? Yes, Miss Bautista. Please read the sentence before answering.
Okay, ma'am. If the suffix starts with a vowel and the root ends with a stressed final syllable ending vowel, consonant, consonant, the last letter of the root is doubled before adding the suffix. I think, ma'am,
What is your
my
answer?
answer is false.
Correct. So this sentence is false because the pattern should be consonant, vowel, consonant, not vowel, consonant, consonant. Next, number 2, Miss Basa.
If the suffix starts with a vowel and the root ends with an E, the final E is dropped from the root before adding the suffix. Roots ending of G or C are an exception. Ma'am, my answer po is true.
True. Very good. Next, number 3. Miss Bautista.
Number 3. If the root ends with consonant plus y, the y changes to an I before any suffix is added. The exception in this rule is by adding a suffix ing. My answer po is true.
Correct. And last number, Miss Basa.
If the root ends with vowel plus y, the final y will change. Ma'am, my answer po is false.
Okay, false. False is correct because the final Y will not change. Very good, class. It's good to hear that you really learn in our discussion. So here, here's the summary of our discussion. You can take a screenshot of it as your reference. Okay, take a screenshot. So class, is there any questions or clarifications?
None po, ma'am.
Okay,
None, ma'am.
so please read the materials I posted and be ready for the quiz next week. That's all. Have a nice day and I hope you learned something today. Goodbye, class.
Goodbye,
Goodbye,
ma'am.
ma'am. Thank you po.
Goodbye. Thank you.